What you all did was one of the most painful moments in the history of this company. But the four of you have become known as the face of Severance reform.
So I want to start out by asking a group question to you all. John, we can start with you and go down the row. We've spent so much time in season 2 with your characters as outies. And I'm curious, do you think that we would watch any season 1 scenes differently now knowing a little bit more about who your characters are on the outside?
It depends how curious and obsessive or perverse you are. But I don't know. I think there is a connection. It's like the old 45s when you used to buy a record, there was the A side, there was the B side. And so if you think of it that way, there is a connection, but maybe not. I'm not sure about that. But I think that's one of the mysteries of the show and one of its strengths, that, we do have this capacity to be ignorant, or they say ignorance is bliss, about where we come from, or our past, our baggage. So, the show plays with that, and it plays with our separation for our work life and, our personal life.
Britt and Zach, anything else to add?
I mean, I think there are certainly, in season 1, we learned very, very little about Dylan's outie. And then, near the end, we start to learn it. And then we learn a lot more this season. And I think there are definitely things that if I were to think back or watch moments from season 1 that take on a new color based on that new information. But your mileage may vary on that. It depends how perverse you are, as John said.
Well, you can watch it backwards, forwards.
Yeah, I think there's something to be found in a rewatch for sure. Every prop and line of dialogue has been really cared for by the cast and the crew, and it's this giant puzzle that we've built, and we all enjoy detailing each of the puzzle pieces for the audience to then kind of be in conversation with us about.
Yeah, very much so. Britt, I want to go down that rabbit hole with you about the difference between Helly and Helena. We spend a lot more time getting to understand who Helena is and her motives and all that. And these characters feel like completely different people, even though you guys look exactly the same hairstyle, same posture, same everything. What are some of the nuances that you're emphasizing as an actress to distinguishify, to individualize both Helly and Helena?
I want this to kind of be a package that the audience gets to open for themselves and like have a relationship to each side of the same person. But as John was alluding to, they sound like different music in my head, and I really have empathy for both of their situations. These are the same person, but in both trapped by the same company. And Helena is obviously trapped in a really different way. She's stuck within this family that she didn't choose. So it really becomes about kind of this inner critic, this inner child, ego versus id, nature, nurture, opposite sides of the coin. I'll stop my metaphors now.
No, it's great. Lots to unravel. I want to go down Irving's rabbit hole a little bit with you, John. He really develops his confidence in this season compared to where he was in season 1. Where does that come from?
I just think it's sometimes it's situational, what happens. And I think his relationship with Britt pushes him over the edge, we never know why he was severed, and that, I have my own ideas, and that's for me to know, no one else. But I think that kind of pushes him in a different direction to rebel, instead of being, the company man. And from that, there's a process of discovery, and I think people have that within them. They just don't know. I think what Britt is talking about, with her character, it really makes sense that if, say, she was a child, and I never talked to Britt about this, and it was kind of beaten out of her rebellion. They say, like, you can't be this way. You're going to have to be this way. That still remains somewhere in her. So when she severs, that's, part of her. And so that part, the child in you, is always there. It's about accessing that, and children don't have all these, they sit up straight. They don't have this psychological baggage at a certain age. A 5-year-old is free. Look how limber they are, and as you get older, you have all these things you carry with you. So I think people are infinitely complex. There's none of us know exactly what we're capable of, and so to me, that's one of the joys of exploring, this work, this profession.
That was very beautifully said. Wow, I'm very moved by that answer. You said something interesting too about how like relationships change who we are as people. And Zach, I feel like that's very true for Dylan with what I've seen from season 2. In season 1, he relies a lot on humor in high stress situations. This time around, we get to see a little bit more gravity and severity to him when he's reacting to things that are going awry. Have you kind of found that balance for Dylan of between the humor and the gravity?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is similar to what John was saying. It's so much of it is situational, where in season 1, Dylan the innie is totally free. He doesn't have any baggage. He doesn't really know anything about his life except for the version that he creates for himself. He has all these theories about what he might be. And then once he learns what's really going on out there, he starts to take on some of that. And it does impact the way he interacts with the world.
Very true, guys. They're giving me the rap cue, but this is genuinely my favorite show on television, and season 2 is a home run from what I've seen so far. So a true honor to get to speak with you all, and I'm looking forward to the back half.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hello, is anyone there? Is the board on? It's Marquez from Macro.